I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna like rant about like the shit that I hate. You know, like I play a lot of games, and it subjects me to some of the stupidest people alive. And I'm just gonna like tell you some things that I hate that I've heard. Right. So let's say that you're playing a game, yeah, and that you got four people, yeah, you, your friend, your other friend, and let's just say a girl, you know, maybe like a friend of a friend, maybe it'd be your friend, or maybe you're just all randoms and you've been put together on a team. Yeah. Right. Here's our little squad. Yeah, our little squadron of gamers. Right. Right. And now these two are talking. Nothing wrong with that. You talk to your people on your team. That's okay. But like it's just a canon event. He just pops his ult and says the most backhanded thing that I even think you can even say. He just says, "Wow, you're really good at this for a girl," or "Wow, you're really good for a girl." What the fuck? It doesn't matter. It's just every time I hear it, it doesn't sound like a compliment. It sounds like you're trying to antagonize someone without actually antagonizing them. And what's even worse is that like half the time, it just goes like really awkward afterwards. Because like, how do you even respond to that? Like, granted, I'm not a girl, okay? I can't speak for anyone, you know, especially when it's not being said to me. But I don't know if it is just me, but like whenever someone says that shit, it just goes really, really awkward, you know, and it just never unawkwards itself. It's just so uncomfortable afterwards because it's like you've just told me that like, wow, I can't believe that you're good at this thing that people of people who are of your definition aren't very good at. Wow. Like I can see like the compliment side of that, but like it just can't be executed in a way that isn't like backhanded. I'm gonna be honest. Like yeah, there probably are ways, but like for some reason gamers just can't, you know, they can't articulate their words in a good enough way to fucking, you know, formulate a sentence that isn't at least fucking what's the word? Passive aggressive. That's the word. Like there's just no actual like way to do it. I don't think there is. But to be honest, that's all I really have for, like this this little segment. I do have others though. That's why this video is probably like 10 minutes long. So yeah. Now this one's a bit iffy for me because on on the other hand, I do like rage bait. It's funny, okay? When it's done correctly, it can be funny. But like there's people that like play games or like just actually not even like in game, it's just anywhere. That like they don't understand how to rage bait people or like what rage baiting is. They just think like saying horrible shit that gets a reaction is rage bait. That's not rage bait. You know? That's just you being a dick and then having consequences for you being a dick. You know? Like I have a friend, okay? I'm not gonna tell you his name, for privacy reasons. If this ever fucking for like some odd reason just blows up out of nowhere. I don't expect it to, but like, better safe than sorry. But I'm gonna just call him C. He rage baits the fuck out of people, but like he knows how to rage bait, I'll be honest, he does. And there's been occasions where he's rage baited me, but like sometimes, yeah, it does get a bit too much, I'll be honest. But he keeps it within like a standard. But like you'll have people on the game that are like telling you, "Oh yeah, I'm happy your nan fucking died, you silly old cow," and it's like, yeah, nice one. That's not rage bait. You just said horrible shit. And like I get like why they might think, "Oh yeah, I rage baited you because you're angry now." Yeah, Like, well, I could kill your mum and say, oh, no, I'm just rage baiting, so it's alright. Doesn't make sense, does it? You know, you're angry that I just killed your mum, aren't you? It's like, you know. But like these people, like they don't understand it, you know. Like the concept of like rage baiting people just doesn't fully click. Like they get the like incentive of, oh yeah, let me make them angry, but like they miss the actual idea of it. You're not meant to just say horrible things to make people angry. You're meant to say like not not horrible, but like things that like can be interpreted badly, you know? Like things that aren't meant to be taken too seriously turn into a way to make someone angry, right? And I get it, that sounds stupid, but that's what rage baiting is. You're meant to make someone angry. That's how you rage bait. You're baiting the rage, right? But like, I just don't. I mean, this is just me. Like, I don't count people just being horrible as rage bait. You know, that's not rage bait. This one I have a lot of like experience in dealing with. I play a game called GTA 5. You've seen like a few clips of it on here. If you watch my videos, I don't think there's any like consistent people watching my videos. I would love that though. I mean, if you are, feel free to drop a comment. I guess, but I really don't expect there to be anyone. But like, when I play GTA, I run into the most hypocritical players I've ever seen. Um, I mainly try and stay on the PvP side of it, okay? I don't enjoy GTA as just driving around and, you know, doing heists 24/7. I just don't really enjoy it, you know? And I get it, you know, that's what the game's been structured on, but like, you know, Minecraft is about building and survival, but there's people who do bed wars. That's not really what Minecraft, like, you know, was structured on. You know, and people understand that, you know? I'm not going to sit here and I'll say, oh, well, everyone else's way of playing is wrong, you know, because, like, you know, I don't play GTA the conventional way, is what a lot of people would say it as, but I have fun and that's what matters, you know. But being on the PvP side of GTA that I am on is that it leads to a lot of people getting very upset about the game. And this will come up in a future segment. Might be the next one, might be the one afterwards. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah. Uh like let's say that I'm having a fight with this one guy and he goes ghost. Ghost is something that you can do in GTA if you have a organization or a CEO to where you can pay 12,000 in-game USD dollars to go off the radar for 3 whole minutes. So let's say that they do that and I do the same. And I kill them, but they can't kill me. What will then happen, a good chunk of the time at least, is that you'll get a text saying, oh, why are you playing off radar, you pussy? And it's like, you know, at first you think, oh yeah, they're just trying to like get under my skin a little bit. But then you realize like these guys are fucking serious. You know? Like these guys are actually being like genuine in their question. You know? Because then you start to realize that like everything they're doing is that like that they think they're the only people that are allowed to like play like dirty in a game. I don't know. Me personally, I dish out what I receive. You know, that's just how I play the game. You know, like if you play dirty, if you go off radar, I'm gonna go off radar, and I'm gonna play dirty. You know, that's just how I've always. That's just how we play games. You know, that's like the most optimal way for me to play a game. But fucking, I'm tired. Sorry, but no, the people that are like the massive hypocrites that I come across tend to also be of definition of the next subject I have. Now, cheaters, no matter what form it is, People who boot you offline, people who abuse a lag-inducing tool, or people who just abuse game glitches. And I mean, in the way that, like, they can't die. In GTA, there's a glitch called God Mode, and it is in abundance. You have God Mode helicopter glitches, God Mode car glitches, God Mode player glitches, God Mode glitches that take you off the map permanently, God Mode glitches that make you invisible and take you off the map permanently. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And this all happens in GTA. This has been happening for over a decade. Okay? And that's not an exaggeration. An actual decade. Probably more than a decade. Let's be real. GTA 5 has been out for like a good 13, 14 years now, I think. It is appalling. And the issue with, people that cheat on games is that, like, it takes out the fun for both, it takes out the fun for you and me. You don't get to enjoy the game because you're cheating to win. I don't get to win because you're the one cheating to win, you know? You take out my enjoyment by taking away my ability to win, and then you take away your enjoyment from taking away your ability to lose, you know? There's no fun in the game that you know that you will win all the time, you know? That's like, I don't get the point of that. It doesn't make sense. My main experience with people who take the game too seriously is on GTA. I'm talking about GTA again. Boohoo. But the people that I find on GTA are genuinely some of the saddest individuals I've ever met. And when I say this, I don't mean it in a way like, oh, I'm exaggerating just to prove a point. I mean, like, actually, like, this is beyond depressing on how far you're going for this. I've been booted offline for killing someone. I don't mean like, ah, killing someone in the session. I mean, because I've killed someone one time before in the past, they have booted me offline. And like, I don't get the point of that because, I just get back on in about, what, 2 minutes? It's like, yeah, good one. You stopped me for 2 minutes. Nice one. But it's like, the comp mindset is like, I can't allow you to kill me because I'm comp. You're competitive in GTA? Not much of a fucking competition, is it? Everyone is but at GTA. Come on. But like, what makes it worse is that, like, these quote unquote comp players will then just go into God mode and, like, turn down any 1v1. You're not comp. You're not comp if you turn down literally every single 1v1 that you are offered. Because, at that point, you're just there for, like, the aesthetic of it, You're not there because you're actually comp. You're there because you like being thought of as comp. You like telling people, oh, I'm comp at GTA. I'm comp on this game. I'm comp on that game. But my main grievance, because, my opinion mainly becomes because I'm talking about GTA, is that, like, this doesn't happen on Fortnite, okay? On games like Fortnite, COD, Apex, this doesn't really happen, okay? But on GTA, people are so scared to actually fight that the PvP scene on GTA has actually died. It's done. It's gone. Because, this is how I imagine every single, like, person on GTA that takes the game seriously, or just label themselves as, oh, I'm comp. I'm comp in GTA. No, you're not, you know? Like, you're LARPing. You're actually LARPing, And you might say, you sound like you're a bit agitated about this. Yeah, because I like PvP, Like, my aspect of the game is dead because of these people, you know? And I get it, it's, oh yeah, just go play a different game. I don't want to play a different game. I want to play GTA and I want to have a good, fun fight, you know? And, I'm already stuck on, like, a pretty bum console, I'll be honest, People who play Xbox on GTA are just, they're kind of butt at GTA, And honestly, it's not their fault. Have you seen the controller layout? It's terrible. Okay, so I've given you a little bit of a diagram, okay? So what is in red is your analog sticks, both of them. Okay, diagonal, shit design. The one that's circled in yellow, your left, blue, your right, and in green is your D-pad. Now, when you're sniping in GTA, to zoom in and out of your sniper, you have to use the top and the bottom D-pad. Now, granted, Xbox had the design before GTA 5 came out, so not entirely their fault, I'll be honest. But still, kind of a terrible controller layout, I'm gonna be honest, you know. In terms of like the actual controller, I think Xbox, is terrible. Console wise, has PlayStation beat in my opinion, I'll be honest. I just like it more on Xbox. I've had both. So I thought. But, how the fuck is anyone meant to actually do anything with this fucking controller, like when they're playing? Like I guess you can fucking, kind of play claw, if you know what that is, but like it's gonna be super uncomfortable on the fucking left side. I'm holding my controller as I'm like talking. Yeah, hear that? That's the Y button. Like I get I get the idea here. Looks wise, I guess it looks pretty okay. Feel wise, I would rather shove a cactus up my ass. But you know what? Uh, I have handled worse controllers in my life. Um, it's just I don't understand the viewpoint here. I don't understand the angle that it was coming from. And keep in mind, I haven't been on Xbox for as long as I was on PlayStation. Maybe this is like a bit biased. So don't take it to heart. I'll be honest. That's all I really got to talk about today. I mean, if you made it to the end, thank you. Means a lot, like always. Have a nice one. Doodles.